Branched evolutions are one of the coolest mechanics in the Pokemon series. A select few Pokemon can have multiple final evolutions, depending on which conditions are met. One of the most recent branched evolutions is the Applin family, introduced in Sword and Shield. Good morning, fellas, I'm Matt, and today Elias and I are going to look at Applin and all its evolutions, and see what they have to offer. Alright, let's get started.
What's up, I'm Elias, and I have a mild reaction when I eat raw apples. Yup, I'm allergic to this video, but the show must go on. Applin is one of the weakest Pokemon in the game with a base stat total of 260 and, how do I put this nicely? A miserable, pathetic, embarrassing, shameful, atrocious move pool. I think that was pretty nice. It only gets one attacking move by level up, Astonish. That's a 30 base power ghost type move, so not only is it weak, but Applin doesn't even get stabbed from it. This little guy learns a couple of TMs and egg moves, but Applin still can't really do much in battle.
You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and dial 911 just in case.
Oh, it's just a mild reaction.
I'm just making sure that my co-host doesn't die.
Heart attack.
At first glance, Applin doesn't seem like a Pokemon that would get branched evolutions, but there's a lot of things you can do with apples, and Applin's evolutions reflect that pretty well. Applin himself is an apple with a worm in it, but a worm is a type of dragon that's pronounced the same way, hence the secondary dragon typing. All of its evolutions share the grass-dragon combination.
If you give Applin a tart apple, it'll evolve into Flapple. This Pokemon grows wings, which could be a reference to Isaac Newton. It's been said that the story of the apple falling on his head is a myth, but many sources from the time confirm a similar story. After watching an apple fall from a tree, but like, from a safe distance, he was inspired to start working on his theory of gravitation. That story was corroborated by several acquaintances of his.
Isaac Newton was absolutely a weirdo. Even if nobody showed up to his classes, he would just teach the wall. But Flapple decided that gravity is for scrubs, so it sprouts wings to fly. It also gets a thematic signature move, Apple. It's an 80 power grass type move, and it's guaranteed to lower the target's defense stat by 1 stage, so it's a strictly better version of Seed Bomb. Apple is usually Flapple's grass stab of choice, because a guaranteed defense drop is really nice. If the target stays on the field, each Apple will be stronger than the last one, but it also interacts with another Newton adjacent move.
Gravity is a psychic type status move with several effects. It grounds every Pokemon in the field, including flying types, levitate users, and air balloon holders. That makes them vulnerable to ground type moves, but it also lets them reap the benefits of terrains. It also boosts every move's accuracy by a factor of 1.67 times, so every move with at least 70% accuracy will go over 100%. If gravity is active, Apple also becomes 50% stronger, now clocking in at 120 base power. Can Flapple learn gravity or no?
No.
Okay.
It feels like it should though, no?
Yeah, it should, probably.
In competitive singles, Flapple is a viable pick. In ZU, the lowest standard tier. Well, hey, it's something at least. Its main function in Gen 8 is as a wall breaker, meaning its job is to muscle through a team's defensive core. It's got a base attack stat of 110, which is pretty good. Its physical moves are boosted by 50% thanks to Hustle, although that comes with a drawback of lower accuracy. It can also hold a Choice Band or Life Orb to hit even harder. It's got a decent selection of moves to choose from, including Sucker Punch, Outrage, U-Turn, and, Heavy Slam. It's the lightest Pokemon that can learn that move though, so that's a terrible choice.
If you give Applin a sweet apple instead, it'll become Appletun. This evolution takes a more dessert-focused angle, with Appletun resembling an apple pie. It's got a signature move of its own as well, Apple Acid. It's basically a special version of Apple. It's got the same base power and accuracy, and it's guaranteed to lower special defense instead of physical defense. Unlike Apple though, Apple Acid isn't boosted by some random move nobody uses.
Yeah, if you saw the comments on our last long-form video, it's just like, we're not beating the allegations.
I'm straight, guys. Hate to break it to you.
Appletun is slower and bulkier than Flapple, and it's got a solid special attack stat of 100. That means it can choose between an offensive set with an item like Choice Specs, or a more defensive set with moves like Recover, Leech Seed, and Body Press. Unfortunately, Appletun isn't the strongest Pokemon in the universe, so it's hanging out in Gen 8 ZU as well with its cousin Flapple.
Slapple and Appletun were both given Gigantamax forms. That's fun and all, but both forms look identical. This is the only way to make two species of Pokemon look the same, outside of transformations and illusions. Both apples have a different G-Max move though. Flapple's grass-type moves become G-Max Tartness, which lowers all opponents' evasion stats by 1 stage. Which is, like, fine, I guess. Lowering evasion can make your moves more reliable if you're using Hustle, but your moves can't miss while you're Gigantamaxed, so you won't be able to get any mileage out of it until you return to normal, unless you're playing a double battle and your teammate has an inaccurate move. Meanwhile, Appletun gets G-Max Sweetness, which cures status conditions on its side of the field.
What if we just, like, pretended to be for the bit? No.
No.
Hey guys, this is my husband.
My platonic husband.
Applin, Flapple, and Appletun all share a signature ability. Ripen doubles the effect of held berries. For example, the Yacha berry normally has the damage taken from an ice-type move, but with Ripen it quarters the damage instead. That effectively cancels out their 4 times ice weakness, but only for the first ice move that hits them. They can all learn Recycle though, so I mean, I guess it's an option if you want to reuse your berry. I wouldn't recommend that though. Don't cough up your food to eat it a second time. Ripen also doubles the healing from the Oran and Citrus berries, restores 20 power points instead of 10 with a Leppa berry, raises a stat by 4 stages with a Starf berry, and so on and so on.
But Flapple and Appletun both have other abilities they prefer. Since Flapple is offensively focused, its ability of choice is typically Hustle. Meanwhile, Appletun prefers Thick Fat because it halves the amount of fire and ice damage you take. That effectively makes it resist fire and turns its double ice weakness into a single weakness. For more videos like this, subscribe to MEPlaysGames and consider becoming a channel member for as little as 99 cents a month. You'll get early access to each video and you can watch exclusive Let's Plays. Right now, we're playing through Pokemon X. Come watch us struggle.
A couple of years ago, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet came along, and Applin got a 3rd evolution in the Teal Mask DLC. If you give Applin a syrupy apple, it evolves into Dipplin, which is based on a candy apple. As far as stats go, Dipplin's spread is pretty similar to Appletun's. Dipplin can also function as a slow, bulky special attacker, using Giga Drain to keep its HP up. Dipplin does have a signature move, but it's kinda meh. Syrup Bomb is a 60 base power grass move, which lowers the target speed by 1 stage for 3 turns in a row. That's a pretty nice effect, but the attack itself is weak, and 85% accuracy makes it unreliable. Or does it?
Well, Dipplin also has a signature ability, Super Sweet Syrup. Upon switching in, Dipplin lowers its opponent's evasion by 1 stage, so it's essentially a different spin on Intimidate, except it only works once per battle for some reason, instead of every time you switch in. In any case, that could make Syrup Bomb slightly more reliable, since Super Sweet Syrup takes the move's accuracy over 100%, at least for a little while. Syrup Bomb isn't the most common move in the universe, but it's not atrocious at least.
There was one weird thing about Dipplin's release though. Within hours of the Teal Mask dropping, it was discovered that Eevee Light works on Dipplin, despite it being fully evolved. That made it more effective at taking hits, since it boosts your defenses by 50% if you can evolve further. Since Dipplin didn't have an evolution at the time, fans logically concluded that there must be yet another Apple Dragon coming in the 2nd DLC, the Indigo Disc. Well, it was either that or a glitch, we just have to wait and see. In any case, Dipplin's ability of choice in singles is usually Sticky Hold, to prevent opponents from knocking off, tricking, or stealing its Eevee Light.
When the Indigo Disc came out, we did indeed get a new evolution. When Dipplin levels up while knowing Dragon Cheer, it'll evolve into Hydrapple. That means that aside from regional forms, the Applin line is the only branch family where one branch is longer than the others. The final evolutions Flapple and Appletun are 2nd stage Pokemon, but Hydrapple is 3rd stage.
As its name implies, Hydrapple draws inspiration from the Hydra, a many-headed monster from Greek mythology. It's also got a signature move to go with that design. Fickle Beam is usually 80 power, and most of the time just 1-head attacks, but 30% of the time Hydrapple will go all out, attacking with all its heads to deal double the damage. 160 base power's worth. Thanks to these super critical hits, so to speak, this move's average power is 104, so your expected value is higher than something like Dragon Pulse.
Hydrapple has a good mix of bulk and offensive prowess, which makes it an A-tier Pokemon in Gen 9 UU, the 2nd tier of competitive singles. Alongside its attacking moves like Fickle Beam, Giga Drain, Earth Power, and Draco Meteor, Hydrapple can boost its damage even further with Nasty Plot or Choice Specs. It's also got the ability Regenerator, a reference to how the Hydra regenerates its head. Every time you cut one Hydra head off, it grows 2 new ones to take its place. Regenerator lets Hydrapple heal without using moves like Recover or items like Leftovers. Here's another fun fact. Fun might be a strong word. No Pokemon can learn Dragon Cheer by level up. That means Dipplin is the only Pokemon that needs a TM to evolve.
This is actually the first evolution line with at least 3 branches in a while. The last one we got was the Tyrogue line, which was completed all the way back in Gen 2. The family of Evolutions gets new members every once in a while, but there's always been at least 3 choices. Actually, you know what? Forget the Evolutions. Let's just get a new Apple Dragon every generation. What could go wrong?
Now that I'm dead, I can trick Matt into thinking I'm dead and play Wizard 101. And hopefully he didn't hear me say that.
Old man Periwinkle just celebrated his 110th birthday. He's so old that by the time he finished blowing out the candles, he was blank.
Dead.
Yeah, my answer was dead. Charles Nelson Riley's answer was dead. Everybody else on the stage had a much nicer answer. He was 111.
He died. Remember, kids, you can double the effectiveness of your food by chewing your cud.
No! Next time on MEPlaysGames, the anatomy of a cow.
Well, that's all we got for today. Shoutouts to Geo the Hero for the new avatars you've seen throughout this video. Go check out his coffee if you want to commission him. Shoutouts to all of our channel members: Gavin Eric, Akruda, Starkid Phil, 2D Sonic, Lord Matthew, Summon Sloth, Skintist, Catalia, Sam the Yeen, Measles, JVGL, Victor Manzo, and me. Long story, no time to tell it though. Go check out the-
Good night, fell asleep well.